Hey guys, this is Aiden Struve with Struve Family Farms, and we're back out here today doing our second and last cultivation pass in our organic cornfield. So this is kind of a exciting time because we're really seeing how this field's going to shape up, and it give us a good idea of what we're going to look like for the rest of the year out here. So today is July 6th, and so from my last video, we're pretty much right at a week or 8 days since we were in here cultivating, just doing our first pass. And so that was a little bit later for the first pass, but it still worked out all right. But with the weather that we've had, this corn has just taken off. And if you look, it's already, it's pretty close to waist high. If we look down here, a lot of this corn, yeah, is waist high. And you can see, if we're looking at the tractor, it's above the front wheels on the tractor. And so it is, brushing through a little bit, but it's pretty much right at the ideal height for our last cultivation. And I even have my bar cheated up just a little bit, that way it's not rubbing that corn too terribly hard coming through. But our corn is looking very good out here. For the last week we've been high 80s and warm and humid. Today is about 92. It's a little warmer than necessary. The corn is stressing a little bit. We can kind of see the leaves are curling. It's just trying to conserve some moisture in the plant itself, but it's sure growing and taking off. So we're looking, I'll show you our cultivator. This is a Buffalo 4630 cultivator, and so this is our last pass for corn. Cultivator is just what this one is set up for. So if we look down here, this cultivator has our big ridging wings on the back, and then this one has the guiding coulter, or kind of that middle one to cut the residue ahead of the sweep, which is right ahead of our ridging wing. And then it's got the gauge wheel up there, and then this one still has the cutaway discs. I have them set in so they're not as close to the row as it would be with our earlier cultivator. They're set in some so that way they're not slicing the bigger roots. And then this one just has kind of your more standard side shields, and that mostly just guides the crop through. They're not super necessary at this point, I feel like, just because how large the corn always is, but it kind of helps guide the leaves out of the way and just keep everything flowing pretty good. So this one actually has a guidance system on it. I'm not currently running with that. I kind of have it just set in the rigid position, and then I'm just running by hand like I do for most of it. But if we look down at the job that it's doing behind us here, it's doing a phenomenal job. If we're looking in the row, we're making a pretty deep ridge. I'm gonna say it's 4 to 5 inches, which I feel like some guys would say is unnecessary, but for organic, we just want to make sure we're getting those weeds covered up. And we can look and see, and there's not much left in this field at all. It's just cleaning up really, really nice. And this dirt is also so powdery that these ridges that we're leaving, they'll kind of melt down some, and they won't be near as much at the end of the year. But since it's corn, we're not combining close to the ground. It does not hurt at all to have a nice ridge pushed up, burying those weeds. And also the ridge helps to cover the base of the plant, because the corn roots will actually kind of come up on the stalk some, and so if you push some dirt up on there, then it'll help to cover up any of those other roots, compared to if you look in a conventional field, sometimes you'll see the roots coming out that are actually exposed out of the ground. So if we look up here, we can kind of see, here's a bigger cockaburr that was got missed the first time, you can see, and we yanked him out real nice. And so yeah, it's just doing a beautiful job, guys. For an organic field, this is probably the cleanest field that I have personally ever had. So I am very excited to see how it is shaping up this year. Since it's drier, that has helped us out on our weed control side, especially in this field, it seems like. And so that's just, I guess, one of kind of the catch 22s of it when it's being a little drier. We're not terribly dry yet, but we're hoping to catch some more rains in the next couple days. I just wanted to give you a front view of what we got. So we got our cutaway disc running next to the row, and then obviously there's the coulter, and then the ridging wing all the way in the back. So this cultivator is just set up a little, it's actually the newer version of our first pass cultivator, and the biggest difference is it has the rubber gauge wheel independent from the slicing coulter. So that's just back there, and they're two different things. On the first pass cultivator, the gauge wheel is kind of made into one with the cutting coulter, because on the middle of the steel gauge wheel it has the slicing coulter that cuts your residue. But we can see, so this has not been hit yet, and there are still some little weeds that are in the row, but all these guys are going to get cut out or buried. Most of the weeds, you can see a few over there, they're just a couple inches tall, but I'm moving a pretty good pile of dirt up against this corn, and it's really cleaning it up, because we can look over here and you can see that there's little to nothing at all along the base of that corn. And so yeah, just pretty exciting, guys, to see how being due diligent during early on in the season can really pay off later in the year with having nice clean fields. And then sometimes it's just patience. Like, this field did not get planted until, I want to say, the 2nd of June. We were originally planning on going a little earlier, but I'm very grateful that we waited, because it seems like everything just timed out nicer that way as far as our weed control passes. So that's what things are looking like, guys. This will be really the last pass that we do through this field before harvest. The only thing we might come in and do is top dress with some liquid fish fertilizer. We're still playing with the idea if that is something we want to invest with, and maybe do some trials and see. We've never done the later season top dressing, but this corn did have starter fertilizer on it, so it had starter liquid and then 3 tons of the composted turkey litter. So far it's a nice deep green, and it's just looking really good. So as long as we keep getting the rains through the season, it should be a phenomenal field come this fall. So thanks, guys. Here's a quick view from the tractor cab, guys. We're rolling along pretty quick. We can go about 7.5 miles an hour right now. So with this last pass, we're able to cover some ground real quick and get this corn cleaned up. Thanks again, guys.